All right, friends, welcome back to Game Guys Regional Championship for Doom of Dimensions. Brand new set here. Oh, excuse me, NA production here, lol. But jokes aside, we are just getting started here for some great Yu-Gi-Oh gameplay action. Maybe you are here for perhaps Doom of Dimensions gameplay. Maybe you're here to see some Genesis gameplay, which we actually might have. Maybe you've just had a long 9 rounds of YCS Leal and you're tuning in. Either or, we're excited to be able to showcase the best and brightest here in Pasadena, Texas. This is a really great scene. We've also listened to some of your feedback as viewers, so you might notice a few different changes here on the stream, whether it is player audio we're working on. You may be able to hear, I don't think I can hear it, but you should be able to hear the duelist. Let me know if we need to adjust the settings there. We've also got, just some of the basic fixings you were expecting, like the deck types, the names, win-loss record, and stuff like that. But we do appreciate that because, again, this stream isn't for Yu-Gi-Oh! It's for Yu-Gi-Oh! Speaking of which, this is a great time for the game, right? Everybody excited about the Genesis format that was just announced, and we will have some Genesis public events. So if I do get a chance to pull them up on screen, would love to see it. We also will have all of the cool new decks you've seen. I've seen Radiant Typhoon stuff, and actually, here and now, we're getting the head judge announcements here. I'm going to take a look for the So yeah, we are just waiting. Turns out you guys couldn't hear me for a second, so apologies for that. But we are just waiting for the head judge announcements to conclude shortly, and we'll find out who our first two players here are at the feature match table. It is good to see you guys. I can see the chat, by the way. This ain't a YCS, so feel free to interact. This is a very different vibe, as you know. Game Guys is totally different. But we are excited here because some things remain the same. Some things have changed. That's going to be going over on that side. It's going to be going over on that side, but don't worry about it. I've got a little communication we're having here. I will be right back. I need to go grab some deck lists and turn this in over to our assistants, BRB. All right, a little technical production difficulties there, but we're back on track here. Again, we're just waiting for the announcements to conclude, and then we'll go ahead and grab our players. Super excited, though. It's going to be a good weekend for Yu-Gi-Oh! It's already a good weekend for Yu-Gi-Oh! I think at broadcast time, maybe it's round 7 of YCS Leal, so we assume some of you, once you get done watching YCS Leal, come on down over here. Definitely bring your friends on down because it's a lot of the same great gameplay that you're going to see across the board. And there's been some interesting stuff. Remember, this is the first weekend that Doom of Dimensions is legal, and even from the YCS side, we're seeing, obviously the greats, Yummy, K9, Draco Tail, but Blue Eyes is still kicking it. I've seen some Radiant Typhoon Runic out there, if anybody is brave enough to run that. Oh my goodness. Haven't seen any Triple D decks yet, considering they just got the new Quadruple D monster, but super excited either way, and it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. But give us just a second. We're going to take a brief break here as we get the announcements going, and we will be back before you know it. Right, so we're still waiting for our players to get pulled here because if I'm not crazy. Oh no, okay, we got him, we got him. Looks like, oh, okay, so my bad. Looks like they went ahead and got started. So let's jump on into the gameplay here. Little fun here, we actually already have a Radiant Typhoon duelist fighting up against Aditya. Very famous duelist here from the World Championship stuff, and we apologize for not having this loaded up already. We are trying a few new things, as you can see, but so far so good. But on the left, in the green, you've got Michael Davis rocking out the Radiant Typhoon strategy with, I can't quite see the Ghost Rare there, but I think based on what this deck could be, that might be Clearwing Synchro Dragon. Because, unless that's an 8, then it'd be Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, but we will see it soon enough. On the opposing side, we don't know what deck Aditya is playing, but we do know that Aditya is a great duelist considering he's competed at not 1 but 2 World Championships and took the #1 spot in 2024 at the NAWCQ and the #2 spot at the NAWCQ this year. Taking a moment to read the cards there. Aditya certainly not a stranger to playing against decks that he's unfamiliar with and just working it on the fly. Radiant Typhoon is a new deck type out of Doom of Dimensions using Mystical Space Typhoon as its sort of linchpin theme card. But it also is a wind attribute deck with a lot of special summon mechanics that react to different types of spells there. So it is cool to see actually some of the stuff going on. Now, what does it do? Oh, we interrupt this broadcast for Dracotail Phimena being activated here. Gonna drop a Molulu, and didn't quite see the other materials there. I definitely saw that there's a Ghost Spell. It's 3 materials so far. I imagine we're gonna get an Arthalion, and with the Arthalion out, probably end up recycling some of those great resources out of the grave. Take a look at that Crocea. And it's no shade, you know, I understand somebody will be like, hey, you mentioned somebody reading cards with a history of reading cards. No, this is going to be one of those sets where, you know, there's so many new decks. We still have to see, you know, the new Black Rose Witch support and so on and so forth. Beginning of the gameplay here, we are going to see the chain there of the Forbidden Droplet, probably in response to the Arthalion. Not sure what we sent off as the target there. But the Crocea, the sort of main boss monster there, is going to not only be able to special summon itself when there is a quick play spell card, but if normal summon or special summon, it got to add a Radiant Typhoon and or 1 Mystical Space Typhoon. Could be and Mystical Space Typhoon. What wild stuff there. So it looks like we are going to see the Dracotail Flame getting rid of an additional Forbidden Droplet. And we're also going to see the Dracotail Horn try to go ahead and deal with either that Crystal Wing or Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. Player audio should be lower than my voice. If it's coming off higher, just let us know. We'll have production take a look at it in between rounds. Speaking of in between, looks like in between the extra monster zone and the field zone and graveyard there, it's going to be Wind Pegasus at Ignister. So definitely take advantage of that intersection of wind monsters on Michael Lee's side. And I mean, he's on full green, right? Definitely proudly rocking the wind attributes color. Nietzsche rocking out those World Championship sleeves from Paris just a few weeks ago and now hot on the tail of trying to get back into the points qualifier for 2026. A terror that just won't give up until he makes it to World Championship as the #1 player and the World Champion. But speaking of World Champion level plays, we're going to go ahead and recycle some of these great Dracotail cards. Go ahead and put that Phimena back on the, Phimena back to the hand, Urgla back to the bottom of the deck. Now we're going to go ahead and activate Rahu Dracotail. Michael taking just a moment to figure out what he's going to play next. Again, this is the first day of Doom of Dimensions, so it's not like he's had a lot of time for in-tournament play. Yesterday would have been the first day, but he is going to activate Mystical Space Typhoon on the face-down card. Does it negate? Well, I mean, sometimes it can in this deck. And while there are no spells or traps on the field, then that Crocea cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So actually pretty terrifying. Now, in this particular matchup, Draco Tail, unlike other decks, does have more stuff that it can run. It can actually have spells and traps on the field. Deecha just taking a look here. Haven't had any exchange of life points yet. Haven't gotten to a fabled battle phase. That was a crazy first turn, but great first turn here for Aditya as well. So Draco Tail, Urgala, looks like it's possibly going to be the target there, but we're going to infinite impermanence actually on the Gulamel. So just not interested in letting the opponent get any advantage here. So not going to see any destroyed cards. Nice to see the maximum gold infinite permanence. I know not everybody's rarity list has maximum gold stuff at the top of it, but you know, it's got to look to it. It's definitely got to look to it. So speaking of reading here, are taking a look at another new card. And that is going to be Radiant Typhoon Vararoon, the Vibrant Vortex. Just for a second, thinking about it. Again, if a quick play spell card is activated, you can special summon the card, very similar to some of the other cards in the deck there. When your opponent activates a monster effect and you have Mystical Space Typhoon in your graveyard, you can negate that effect. And if you have 2 or more Mystical Space Typhoons in the graveyard, destroy the monster. And then if MST is activated while the card is in your graveyard, you can, of course, special summon the card, so a little bit more recursion there. Now, Roy, you said audio, but you didn't give us enough feedback so we could know which buttons to push or what to fix. Because I don't have player audio, so if you've got player audio and it's interfering, just let us know what the issue is that needs to be fixed. And we'll be happy to have production take a look at it. But from up here, I can't do much. Got to tell them in text. Speaking of card text, it's like both duelists here just cycling through the graveyard, kind of keeping track of what has happened so far. But we do have battle phase here. So we are going to have Crocea, I believe, at 2,300 attack fall to the legendary Bestial Magnemite. Then a couple more attacks here, and we are off to the races. All right, so play continues here. Draco Tail Horn being added to the hand. Excuse me. Interesting to see a duelist brave enough to just rock out new stuff on the first day. I think the first day of any set drop is always my favorite because, ooh, you get surprises like this. Speedroid Terror Top. So Speedroid Terror Top coming down, obviously going to grab another card. Usually it's Speedroid Take Tomborg. And there it is. Easy peasy. So Take Tomborg going to go ahead and immediately tribute itself out to Special Summon. Locked into wind monsters, but with a duelist like Michael wearing just all green all the time, I don't imagine that being locked into wind is that much of a problem. So we're going to get, wow, I have to say this, Speedroid Fukimadoshi Piper. It's honestly a really cool card. Allows you a couple of additional draws based on the number of wind monsters you might have. So that can be super helpful. Played a lot of Speedroid in Duel Links, actually. It's starting to look like just a Duel Links combo here. But is it strong enough to take on a field with Gulamel and Bestial Magnemite not really having much effect on the field other than Gulamel, you know, if a card is activated from the Draco Tail family, it could destroy one card. But Fukuminosha Piper is going to go ahead and return back there. And it looks like that is the Radiant Typhoon monster on. No, it's not the one on the playmat after all. That instead is going to be Eldom. So same concept. If you got an MST in the graveyard, just oomph, special summon it, just like Michael dropped it on the field there. All right, thank you for the detailed description. We're going to make sure production takes a look at that right now. All right, so now we're grabbing that great Radiant Typhoon monster that is, it's such a cool looking archetype. Some archetypes just look good. That's going to be Radiant Typhoon Swen hitting the field there. Same concept. If you got MST in the graveyard or your opponent controls no spells and traps, well, now that no spells and traps are, you can special summon this card. So full field here, lots of little wind monsters. Some fun stuff you could do with the extra level 3s, because they are mostly level 3, is Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. We actually saw it YCS Lille this morning, or this evening, depending on if you are jacked on as many energy drinks as I was, staying up all night. But it's cool that we've just got like this worldwide Yu-Gi-Oh phenomenon right now, in the sense that wherever you are, whether you're at the Duelist Cup, oh, and there it is, by the way. Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. Spill the tea. What it does is change monster effects into both players draw a card. But wow, okay, so the Speedroid combos continue here. Just seeing all kinds of like interesting stuff. This deck really like unlocked your collection, maybe more so than Genesis did, as we see High Speedroid Rubber Band Shooter drop down. Just as Adich is reading, again, during your main phase, you can immediately, after this effect resolves, looks like you're going to normal summon a wind monster, but you're locked out of extra deck monsters, except synchro monsters. You get to banish a wind synchro monster from your extra deck, reveal 2 Speedroids with different names from your deck whose levels equal the level of the synchro monster. Your opponent randomly picks one to add to your hand. You send the other to the graveyard. So I guess it's just like you're rubber banding them. It looks like we are going to go ahead and just making sure we know it is. It isn't, Dre, but you know it's an initial normal. Somebody does have that double pick. Bamboozling Gossip Shadow definitely putting in work this format, like already. 2 events in, and we're seeing it every time we see level 3 monsters, which is exciting. It is kind of just an interesting way to negate, but it looks like that 5 mana is going to go ahead and jump in here. So 5 mana. Maybe to fuse, maybe not to fuse. Oh, we are doing it. All right, so Arthalion back on the field. Going to go ahead and use its effect, and the targets for Arthalion are going to be just those. Going to go ahead and bounce the Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. Seems like an interesting decision. Could get reused later. But the other materials, it looks like we're going to go ahead and use the effect of Malulu there. Going to go ahead and negate the effect there and then set the Draco Tail Flame. We're going to set the Key 2. It's going to be Rahu Draco Tail. And then I think that may... No, okay, we're just putting that in the graveyard. We haven't conceded the game yet. Oh, wow. Every Speedroid in the book. Even I'm just like, wait, which one is that? Hey, but wind monsters are in, which means, I wonder if we're going to see any Harpy's Featherstorm. And don't worry, friends, we're working on the production issues. I'm not, but production is behind stage getting it done. But then it's going to be Speedroid Colonel Clackers. Who doesn't love a good set of clackers? That is a reference. But this Pendulum is going to allow you to banish a Speedroid from the graveyard to place a Speedroid Pendulum monster from your deck into the Pendulum zone. Also, you cannot special summon for us to turn except wind monsters. Boo-hoo. And it looks like, let me count the stars there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's got to be Clear Wings. Oh, yeah, I can see it's Clear Wings Synchro Dragon now. Hey, but you got to try. Certainly got to make sure that Michael is finding a way out of it. Obviously, you know, Clear Wings Synchro Dragon, really good for this matchup. Able to deal with the larger monsters via its attack increase. Able to deal with some of the effect issues, right? When certain level monsters, level 5 or higher, are targeted by card effects. You can go ahead and negate and destroy. So it's a good option here, actually. And depending on what Speedroids you have, you might just be able to use a Speedroid Red-Eyed Dice to make Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, which is always good. We know how powerful that card has been format after format after format. And so here we go as the dust settles. Aditya drawing for turn. Going to see what he's got. Going to go and activate that previously set Rahu Draco Tail, but an Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring coming out from Michael Lee. Maybe the one wind monster he does not run. So, well, I guess non-wind monster he runs. But it wasn't enough there. So we are going to go ahead and get rid of the Bestial Magnamut and the Dracotail Malulu for a fusion summon here. Another Arthalion. Taking a look at that Clearwing Synchro Dragon. Probably don't want to jeopardize any turns here. All right, so figuring things out here. Players just working between themselves. Going to go ahead and resolve. It's going to go back there. Oh, so maybe not, maybe yes, maybe not. Players still determining amongst themselves. All right, I think now we are finally, yep. So Michael going to call in his cards. And Aditya is going to be the winner. You see a smile on his face. First win of a new formats tournament. And still seeing some decent stuff. But yeah, it's nice to see the new format here. Apologize for the pause there. Just working on some issues in the background. We are working on the audio fix, so hang in there. We'll crank it up. I hope they give us a warning because I don't have the player audio in my own ear. But yeah, we are, like I said, just small improvements onto the stream here, so pardon our dust there. But you can see Aditya is the winner of the first one. So things are good, at least for him. Now, here's the issue as we go into the side decking. We have no idea what it is that is on those decks. And there could be some very interesting surprises. But looks like the duelists are all ready to go here. Just counting out the side deck and the extra deck, making sure everything's right. What a collection of sleeves Aditya has. YCS Championship sleeves, World Championship sleeves player 1, World Championships player 2. But the only color he's not rocking between yellow, red, and blue is green. And man, Michael's got that covered as he presents his deck and cuts Aditya's. So starting the turn off here, going to go and set a card, set another card. Don't seem to have too many starters there. Forbidden Droplet maybe don't want to set it. Decides to set it. So some interesting choices that Michael has access to, but it looks like we're going to start with the Summon of Malulu from Aditya. And that kind of telegraphs you don't have a lot of fusion power here. So yeah, we're going to go and do it. Discarding an Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Very expensive there for the Forbidden Droplet. But that does mean that because you activated a quick play spell card, it's time to go ahead and special summon one of those Radiant Typhoon monsters, this time that appeared to be a level 9. And it is going to be the big ol' bird. I mean, technically, they're all creatures of the wind, but it's Radiant Typhoon Phonics, the Great Flame. And so, its effect, you know, when it's special summoned, of course, you can target up to 2 cards your opponent controls and shuffle them into the deck if a quick play spell card was activated. So, if another quick play pops down, it's got its almost own Draco Tail Arthalion style effect. And then Mystical Speed Typhoon is activated while the card's in your graveyard, you get to special summon it back. So, cool that you can special summon it from the hand, cool that you can special summon it from the grave, and cool that it bounces cards. But speaking of bouncing cards, Arthalion, 3 materials there. Setting Rahu, setting Ketu, and we may just be able to power through here. So we didn't activate a quick play. Not really a lot of quick plays in the Draco Tail deck, right? It's mostly just normal spells and a couple of normal trap cards. Speaking of normal spells, going to go and activate Ketu Dragon Tail. And the Draco Tail adventures continue here. And it looks like then we're going to go ahead and grab another Draco Tail Pan here. Actually, haven't seen any sign of the new Draco Tail, right? We've seen Phimena, we've seen Lucas, we've seen Lulu, we've seen Pan, we've seen Urgula. I wonder if maybe Aditya is just not choosing to play it, or maybe it's just something that he buries in the deck and doesn't use in his combos. But that's interesting. Going to go ahead and set a card there, and really just going to pass turn. Michael's hand on his head, shaking his head lightly. May not be the best day. Still got a lot of gas left in the tank. Apparently, production gave me an update. A lot of the issues have been fixed, so there aren't going to be too many problems. Next round. Partner does this round. We're just trying to do it the best we can. But speaking of doing the best we can, I'm going to go ahead and set that Draco Tail Flame. And Adichie's just got so much power going on here. We are going to activate this dual Space Typhoon. Sorry for the excitement here. Just an ancient card. One of the first major reprints. But because of that, Ponix is going to come back out. And just going right into the battle phase there. All right, Adichie's turn, draws for turn. While the Ponix came down. Phonics, excuse me. Got to be hooked on Phonics here, not Ponix. I have to say, I think there's definitely some promise in this particular deck. This is the second build I've seen today of Radiant Typhoon. The Super Polymerization, by the way, what a quick play spell to activate. That's really, really interesting. But the alternative builds you can make, including Runic, may be better equipped for situations like this where you need to power through your opponent's monsters, maybe with powerful spell cards, either negate them or destroy them. Normal summoning DD Crow here. And now we're going to link, including a fusion monster. Is this going to be SP Little Knight? It is, because again, Phonics could not be destroyed. But we're not going to use the banishment there, because we still want to be able to attack directly. So we're going to make Cross Sheep instead. And now two monsters went to the graveyard at the same time. So we're going to special summon a fusion monster to the arrow that Cross Sheep points to. And maybe time to special summon another monster. What a heads-up play. I feel like many duelists without Adichie seasoning, having been in all these world championships, would have just made the SP Little Knight to get rid of the monster and just sort of pass. But he saw an opportunity here. So we are going to see the effect activate of the Malulu, triggering the effect of Gulamel, destroying after, I guess it could be destroyed. Maybe there's no issue there with the Phonics. Because my understanding, maybe its effect was, its effect was negated, of course, by the Malulu, and then it was destroyed. And that's the game. Michael Lee doesn't clinch it out here, but puts on a great show of what these powerful new Radiant Typhoon cards can do. But Adichie locks it down, seeing an opportunity, doing some great stuff with that SP Little Knight. In a moment here, we will get to talk to him and see how he's feeling. Brand new season. Sticking with Draco Tail. Draco Tail becoming very popular. Obviously, certain hits on the Forbidden and Limited list. But yeah, our Sacred Slip is signed, and Adichie is our winner. Flashing there on the screen. And in a moment here, we will have him down. So let's just kind of hang out as we wait for our players to pack. Still okay. You can still make top 8 with a game 1 loss. Round 1 loss, I should say. And Michael doesn't seem to be taking it too hard. We get a couple of peeks in the side deck. Look at that. I saw a different Dimension Ground deck lockdown. And I swear, Harpy's Featherstorm. And you can see some of the stuff coming out, the Molcharmies. It's really powerful. I can see that the deck's good. Just going to take some figuring out. And maybe it's not so much about figuring out what cards to include. Because I think the Speedroid stuff's great. But it might just be about order of operations or ratios. And it is just day 1 for a new deck. It's almost like a new character dropped in a video game, right? You just kind of have to get your hands on the controller and keep playing until you figure it out. Well, we're glad you're here, wherever you are in the world. It's good to have you on, again, a beautiful day here. And one of those things where, like, you know, we know you could be anywhere, but we're happy you were here with you. And we know it's going to be a great, long, dueling day. As we have 9 rounds of Swiss, we're going to get our final player counts in a moment soon, too. But Adichie is coming on down as he gets on up. So we should be seeing him quite shortly here. Again, if you're just joining us, this is the end of round 1 here of our 9-round regional for Doom of Dimensions. There are some YCSs going on. There's a YCS next week. This is really just practice for some of us going over to YCS Anaheim. Hope to see you there, friends. But it looks like we are going to have our lovely judge come collect these deck lists. This top secret information over here. And I'll trade it for an interview. Oh, yeah, you might want to watch out for the walkie. They're going to look out on you, Adichie. No stranger to the stage here. If you want to just approach, this is just going to be our featured match here. Interview. Take a seat, throw on your headset, and let's talk Draco Tail versus Radiant Typhoon. Go ahead and get settled. You got a minute. They've already got the Slips being turned in. So, gotta say, were you expecting Radiant Typhoon to be the first match, Adichia?
Oh no. I didn't know what a single Radiant
Oh,
Typhoon
you're pulling so I
card
can actually see you. So
did.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're fine, you're fine. So, Radiant Typhoon, brand new deck. I think it does show a lot of promise, and it's got like some weird things you have to deal with. But I want to talk about that last turn play. It's so incredible. I think a lot of duelists would have made the SP Little Knight and just been like, oh, that card can't be destroyed by battle or card effect. I'll just banish it. But you went the next level into the Cross Sheep combo. Is that something you did on the fly, or is that kind of like built to the back of your brain? Okay, this is how you deal with all that.
No, that's just like how you. That's just like how you build a board off of like 3 bodies. Like when you don't have any Draco Tail cards to play with. Like when you just like have the fusions to work with. It's just like a common line.
Made perfect sense, though, being
Yeah.
able to use the Malulu, negate it, obviously turn off its protection effect, then blow it up. Perfect stuff here. A lot of different choices in the format. I don't know if you got to see any of YCS Lille this morning.
Yeah, I did. I have a lot of friends playing there, so I'm
Well, what
really
made you
excited
come
for
down
them.
here and hang out with us then?
Mostly because in between rounds, I'm playing the DC Cup for Master Duel as well.
Nice. Well, you don't have to tell us what deck you're playing in the DC Cup, but why are you playing Draco Tail in the deck box today?
Oh, it's really the only deck I had sleeved.
That's fine.
That's pretty much it.
Just go with what you know. Just pick up those points.
I mean, like, I just didn't want to play Yummy. The mirror seems kind of like the mirror doesn't seem great in my opinion. I think the Draco Tail mirror is like really skillful and really it rewards good technical play.
Definitely agree on that. Yummy, it just feels like, do you have it or do I have it, right? And no slouch
Yeah,
on any of the
kind of.
Yummy duels, but it's just like that deck kind of plays itself almost. You don't really have to think that far into the future about it. Speaking of the future, assume you're going to YCS Anaheim next week, right?
I am, yeah.
Are you going to be playing Draco Tail there, or it's top secret tech coming?
Honestly, I have no idea what I'm gonna play. So I usually don't like figure out what deck I'm gonna play until like maybe like a couple days before the event.
That's fine. When you've been
Yeah.
to as many world championships as you have, man, you got the privilege to show up and be like, I don't know, here's the starter deck. Let's go. Do you have any shout-outs you want to give to your friends back at YCS Lille?
Yeah, shout out to Pierre, the goat. That's pretty much it from Lille.
Ooh, everybody at Lille
yeah.
just got shit. I'm teasing. Anybody here in the States then?
Yeah, shout out to Aaron, that's my duo. Shout out to Nick, that's my other duo. They were like my coaches for Worlds this year. So,
That's cool.
yeah, they got my back.
Well, you're off to a great start, and knowing how history repeats itself, we will see you on the 2026 NAWCQ stage before we know it. But until then, go rock yourself out, just relax in the meantime, and we'll be back before you know it. Duelists, just thought I'd give you a little update as we are here. We're still in round 1, waiting for time to be called with the dreaded double match loss on the line. Only about 5 or so minutes till we get to our next round. Obviously, the new time rules, people have opinions on them, but the one thing they have done is make the tournaments run a little bit smoother, so we hope that that provides a better viewing experience because you get duels sooner, right? Hopefully nobody has to do any double match losses, right? Play just goes at a reasonable pace, but sometimes it does happen. No slouch for those duelists that are experiencing a double match loss. It's just something you got to try to just work against next time. Speaking of next time, we are going into round 2 here. It was really cool again to have a World Championship competitor and a brand new deck from Doom of Dimensions. Is there anything specific you want us to watch out for? Decks that have just come out? Maybe we'll try to track down a Double D, Triple D. Maybe we'll try to track down, what else is there? There's Black Rose Witch. That's kind of cool. We haven't seen that. There's some really interesting stuff I've seen where it's like the plant side of all the Black Rose Witch stuff combined with Dia Bellstar. So there's some weird decks out there. And still some great favorites out there as we've been seeing from YCS Leal as well. If you're bouncing back in between those streams, that's fine. I think they're going to be done relatively soon. Hey, Siri, what time is it in France? Okay, yeah, so it's starting to get pretty late in the day for them, so it'll be, well, just us, but that's fine. We'll try to entertain you as best as we can. So that aside, we're just kind of chilling out here as we wait for the next round to begin. It's pretty exciting, right? We have gone from just format to format to format pretty fast. When you think about, Justice Hunters and Duelist Advance coming out in the summer, now we've got Doom of Dimensions and more support coming out the way. We've got the Fallen, the Virtuous structure deck that's all hollow coming out next month. And so Brandon gets to re-enter the format, and some people like, Brandon never left the format. Good on you, Duelist. I'm glad you feel that way. And some people like, Brandon will never enter the format. Hey, don't judge those decks until you face them up close and personal. But there are some cool new cards coming there, and that's going to be exciting as well. Certainly a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Happening all over the place, right? Whether you're in Paris, France, maybe you're in Pasadena, Texas, maybe you'll be in Anaheim, California next week, or New York Comic-Con, as Konami is known to frequent that convention. We'll be seeing you soon. And same thing here on the broadcast. We're going to take a brief break. But when we come back, we should be ready for round 2. See you then. Picture yourself standing before your screen, whether it's your phone, your PlayStation, maybe it's your laptop, maybe it's a desktop, maybe I'm mounted on a TV in the wall, and you want to see a duel of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card games Doom of Dimensions format. Sorry, friends, we ain't got none of this. Nah, drama aside, drama aside. Welcome back to Game Guys Regional Championship here as we are about to begin round 2. Got some very interesting decks that are picked out from our featured match pool. We'll see who ends up showing up here. I can only just kind of be like, try this person, try that person. It's up to the duelists whether or not they actually want to show up and show out their best. We've seen some crazy duels so far, right? Just that first game using Radiant Typhoon versus Draco Tail. Very neat to see it. Definitely had to whip out Yu-Gi-Oh! Never wanted to be, wait, what does that card do? But jokes aside, it shows you that new decks can get it. Didn't manage to get the win out this one, but the tournament is still young as we are continuing through 9 rounds of Swiss. We do have that, yeah, so it is going to be on the left channel. The reason why is we want to give you player audio, and the player audio is coming through the right channel. So your choices are you can hear the duelists, or I could just be to the left. If it makes it easier for you, I could just sit over here, and then it's like real surround sound, right? Because I'm just talking to you from the left. Just so, yeah, it is just the fix there. But they're still working on some of the production stuff because we are trying to loop in player audio. You probably have seen me in a lot of live Yu-Gi-Oh! Events, and I mean this when I say this. Player audio is the hardest thing to do in the business. It really, really is because you have to get it through a monitor feed. I actually can't hear the player audio. When the duels are going to be in progress, I may talk over the players. I am apologizing in advance because I don't know. I don't see that we pulled our players yet. Let me just double check just to make sure. No, okay. They're not there yet. We're good. But yeah, it's just one of those things where we're trying our best. We're trying our best. And we have a lot less staff. If you have ever seen those beautiful productions at the YCS, whether it's YCS Lille going on right now or YCS Anaheim next week, it is like 30, 40 people combined between your judges, your staff, everybody at production. They've got people with like 8 or 9 monitors in front of them. It's great, great stuff. Here, it is just me and like one other person, and we are doing our best, and I'm not even affiliated with them. They're all the way over there, and they can't even hear my voice. So we're trying our best. We're trying our best. But that's what's really interesting about this scene is that this is the byproduct of just one game shop stream, and they are doing a great job. Looks like our judges do have deck lists in hand, so we should be seeing them soon. So places, everyone. It is about to be time to duel, the greatest time of all. But yeah, just this is just a very real organic stream. By the way, when you're typing in the chat, it's not every day that I'm like, I see you, I hear you, because I can't sit there and just like be on my phone at a YCS and be like, oh, cool. Let me just read all of the chat here while I'm watching the match. But let's take a selfie. No, I'm teasing. Jokes aside, we are trying our best here, but if you do have any real feedback, please let us know because we actually are receptive to that and we do want to fix it. And so those images can go ahead and be communicated. So yeah, we're just hanging out here as we get the announcements from our head judge. I will repeat them as I can. He said Yu-Gi-Oh! Players. On the match slip, there's a box that says draw. Yeah, there's no draws anymore in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game due to the new double match loss. Okay, yeah, they're gonna. It's a double loss. That's our way of indicating the double loss. So there we go. And this is cool too for me because this is my first regional being here when there is double match loss. Just been busy, right? There's been a couple of those regionals and events so far, but it's nice to actually see the vibe. I know everybody was very concerned at first, and then they played it. And they're like, "Oh, this is dope." So it does look like we have our players round up. And in a moment, a judge will come by with the deck list, so you don't need to worry. The deck list will be coming later. So they're going to be coming later. We're just making sure. And let's go ahead and drop on down. All right, there we go. We go. Production staff working hard. And here come our duelists. All right, so let's see what's slamming on down. I always love duelist swag, right? Which deck box? What are you going to use, etc. So, looks like, oh, he's got the cool takeout box deck list. Looks like player one's going to be Abasai Alejandro. Love the hair, by the way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, that really is just like that exact branding from like the generic takeout stuff. So cool, cool. Shout outs to Gemtech, I guess, because that is a great idea for a deck box. And so we'll find out player two's name short as well. But it's just good to see just duelists showing up, you know, getting ready. And I think I see K9. Wait, I saw Cyber Dragon version. Is that Cyber Dragon K9 on the left? Abasai Alejandro perhaps playing two of the greatest level 5 decks ever made. And Jaime Caldera on the other side. We'll get to see what he's playing soon. But this is going to be a match. Oh, my goodness. All right, so shuffle up. And we're about to play here. Guess shout-outs to Team Omega. Is that a team? I want to be able to cheer for a duelist, too, here. But yeah, very interested to see what deck Jaime Caldera is playing. Because if I saw what I thought I saw on the Alejandro side, it is going to be an interesting duel, whether you go first or second, which is so cool because Cyber Dragon is so much stronger going second. Well, I mean, it can make Cyber Dragon Affinity, so maybe I should shut my mouth there. But K9 does give it a difference in there. Looks like Jaime is going to be playing Yummy, so this is a really very modern matchup. This is today's Yu-Gi-Oh! As we see Cyber Dragon, certainly a blast from the past, starting against Cybernetic Revolution. That was 20 years ago? 20 years ago. But it shall be competing against the latest and greatest here with Yummy. So getting ready for the dice roll here. Jaime rolling what appears to be a 4. I see like 3 little stars and a paw. And that's a 7. Easy peasy. So I think Abasai is going to take an opportunity to choose to go first, second. I mean, it is still Cyber Dragon and K9. Great amount of punish. Huge bodies. Let's see what he picks. And if it's blind goes second, that's fascinating. Neither player has started making moves yet, so anybody's first turn. Do you see a Moltrami Fualos in Jaime's hand? He's going to go and discard that. So yes, Absai went first. Does have that K9 Izuna, though, in the hand, so we may be seeing our first punish. And so, yeah, K9 Izuna is going to drop down because the opponent did activate. And we will communicate that information over as we can just to get the balancing issues there. And I can understand now, you don't necessarily have the player audio mix is not usually supposed to be louder than the commentator side, but we do get that with the left and the right there. And as you can see, Game Guys Entertainment on the job. Thank you, Tech. But now that Izuna's here and has sent the 00 Lupus to the graveyard, unfortunately, as it tries to activate and resolve its effect, Ghost Bell in Haunted Mansion proudly declares it's never Lupus. You stay in that graveyard and like it. So without Absai having another level 5 monster on the field, obviously the rank 5 plays that K9 are known for are a little bit difficult, but instead we're going to get K9 66A Joe Cole revealing alongside another level 5 monster, the Artifact Mjolnir. And before Joe Cool becomes an Xyz material, it's going to go ahead and grab another K9 card. This time grabbing 69B, or 66B, excuse me. Lantern. Now we're performing a season. We are going to draw. It's going to be Canine 17. So we are going to go ahead and rip into action here. It's really fascinating. I feel like this is Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion's year. Just a good card. It's an Earth. I mean, that has been great in Vanquish Soul, although Vanquish Soul Canine still a great deck, but I noticed that we're seeing people experiment with Canine a lot more. I myself, this is going to sound really funny, chat. I'm playing Gold Pride Canine on the side, just trying to lab that out. The bridge, of course, is Infinitrack River Stormer, looking for Earth Machines, and Gold Pride Eliminator. It is an Earth Machine. More about that momentarily. So we are going to go ahead and activate a case for Canine. So going to use that to grab another Izuna. Straight out of the deck there. And upside, keeping up a decent pace of play, but may not know where to go next. You took 3 cards out of the opponent's hand, but of course they got to draw some. If you Xyz summon again, you're kind of in trouble here. You don't have Lupus for the quick effect Xyz summon, so that's a little bit more difficult as he straightens that out of the graveyard. Clearly, Lupus is on his mind. Does have an Infinitrack River Stormer of his own there, as well as many other fine rank 5 friends. Now, the machine, you know, Noroi being added into the equation here does give you some great access to things like Cyber Dragon Nova, and then you can build up from there. But it looks like we are going to go ahead and make Infinitrack River Stormer, detaching the artifact Mjolnir. Not going to make the obvious joke. Just been provided refreshments on behalf of the sponsor of the venue, Red Bull. So yeah, I might be chugging a few today. But we are going to go and detach. Do we stop it? Looks like we got a couple of yummy cards in the hand there. I don't know that we're going to do anything meaningful with those. And we get a full preview there, possibly thinking about that. Oh, that's what it is. It's the Dominus Purge. Are we going to lock ourselves out of card effects for that search? Jaime really considering it. Dominus Purge. Search. No. Negate. So, Upside certainly has a strong field, but not the strongest canine board we've ever seen. Looks like he is going to normal summon that Izuna. And, ooh, we're going to Xyz summon again there. And so Kinkari actually enters the fray. Gonna go ahead and detach material. And I'm going to let the stream know that we're going to restart the stream at some point. When would you prefer? Would you rather us do it in the side decking or after this duel so that we can fix the audio issue? Because apparently we do have a solve for that, but it will require us to turn the stream off and turn it on real fast. Oh, and it looks like we've had a concession here. And I believe that Upside just took game one. And Jaime, smiling to himself, didn't want to showcase a single card after that Dominus Purge. So again, Upside takes game one. Sort of stoic for the duelist who wins game one. You almost think that Jaime is having a better time than he is. There's the smile. Never mind. Looks like we are going to restart the stream to pop it in and out after this round. Still thought I'd ask. So Yummy unable to get things going. And that was certainly when you just have Lollipop Yummy in your hand, you're not going to be able to like jump in the duel that hard. You know, it's kind of a small start for sure. We do have some adjustments on the stream, though, for those of you who are Game Guys frequents. That star means they've taken game 1. We've only got 1 star on the screen because if they've taken game 2, you know who won. The winner. Interesting, we see the Black Goat laughs there. Jaime thinking about it. Yeah, okay, it's going to come in. Did see another trap card there. Couldn't quite make it out. It might have been a dimensional barrier just for the easy Xyz call. Almost feels like we're in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. The dimensions are fighting again. It's definitely what Genesis format has felt like. Obviously, no standard dimension, no pendulums here. Got to play a few Genesis games on my home stream earlier this week. Just got destroyed by Lunalight. There's a lot of decks that just work just fine. And you're like, Lunalight, they can't run their pendulums. They don't need them. They don't need them at all, chat. But as a reminder, we are going to be restarting the stream after this round. Just real fast. Just like, it's off, it's on again. And that should alleviate the audio issues. So your vote matters. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Because again, not for Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Speaking of which, always thankful that you're here. This is like the future, honestly, in the sense that, you know, when I was your age, showing up like Grandpa Yugi here, or Grandpa Moto, you know, we just didn't have anything like this. You couldn't just watch the regionals while watching the YCS. At our time, Shonen Jump Championship Series. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Definitely just... Tech is certainly changing. I apologize for being on Grandpa mode, but... You know, when you played the game since its release, you kind of noticed the quality of life changes. And thanks to Game Guys, this is a quality of life change. Speaking of quality of life, though, looks like it'll be back to dueling, so your quality of life will improve because you don't have to hear me yapping. Just get to see some sweet card action. I imagine that Jaime is going to go first there, but oh my goodness, look at that hand. 3 spells, an infinite impermanence, and Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. We are going to chop the old Charmy Burulia, but little does he know. Oh, maybe it's not going to get used at all. But we are going to Ash Blossom, so we're going to try to push here as much as we can. See how Yummy fares in this brand new format. We are going to activate Obedient Schooled, the one of them. Golly gee willikers, chat. I could not believe that that was at 3, and it feels like it makes sense at 1. I understand the decision there, that's for sure. And so now we are going to see 2 Yummy Monsters special summoned, or 3 Yummy Monsters with their effects negated. It's going to be the brand new Marshmallow Yummy, as well as a Lollipop Yummy and a Cupsy Yummy. Delicious here. Makes me want to take a drink myself. But now we got to decide what to do with all these sweets. Oh, quarter-century secret rare Lollipop Yummy. Jaime showing up in style. So we are going to link something into Yummy Snatchy. And doesn't look like we're going to try to grab any field spells here. We're just going to go right into a Synchro Summon or a Linkro Summon. Going to make our Cupsy Yummy way. And so we're going to grab our Cookie Yummy and Cupsy Yummy out of the deck. Do got to discard something. Absai just kind of feeling himself. Doesn't seem like he's playing on tilt. Hanging out, waiting for Jaime to maybe put something a little scarier on there. Oh, and nice, Houston. I don't mean the city. But speaking of cities, definitely going back into Yummy Town here. As Yummy Snatchy activates its effects. And let's see what new Yummy card we grab out. It is going to be our Acroke. Always fun when, Yummy amusements certainly taste great, but they feel even better. Looks like another Link Row 7 coming our way here. Joining Cups Yummy Way is going to be Lollipo Yummy Way. And there are Yummies in the graveyard to special summon out. Looks like it's going to be very carefully Cups Yummy Way. It's going to be Cups Yummy. And Jaime making very careful and deliberate decisions here. But we'll make Cookie Yummy partner up on the side there. Deck still feels very strong. And looks like we're going to have our Martial Metal Marcher here. Oh, maybe something in the open game state. Still plenty of time left on the clock. And we got our great judge there just making sure everything's on the up and up, paying attention to each turn and any updates he gets from his superiors. All right, so time for a Yummy surprise. It looks like one of the 3 effects we're going to activate is special summoning the Marshmallow Yummy from the graveyard. And the deck's just so good. We talked about it earlier with Adichia, famous duelist in the North American scene, and really the world stage at this point, that Yummy, I don't want to say that, I did say that it plays itself before, but I think that it just has, it knows what it wants to do. And just getting all the monsters on the field, having the power boost from your Yummy Amusement field spell, and just pow, 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 that's the vibe. Draco Tail has a little bit of burst potential. If you're playing a video game and you're used to, blasting people, I feel like, the Yummy deck is like a repeating little blaster there. Like, pew, 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 pew. Whereas Draco Tail is just giant explosion there of card effects. But if the explosion doesn't happen, well, then things can go wrong. And that's why there's so many different ways to lock him out. Whether it's like triple tactics, thrust into dimensional barrier, stuff like that. Timer is being independently kept by the judge. I'll see if we can't get him to have Neuron on the field. He does receive updates, though, from the rest of the team, so I don't know if we will be able to just have the extra phone out there. But believe me, duelists, the timer is very, very solid right now. As far as I can see from the main event timer, it appears like there's 37 minutes left on the clock. And in Game 2, with these duelists, I think we've got plenty of time to duel. Speaking of time to duel, oh my goodness. It's Cyber Dragon time. As we activate Cyber Dark Realm. And it's cool. Like, one of the things I love about K9 is that it brought so many decks out of, like, just the factory, right? Mostly machine decks, right? We've seen all kinds of stuff. Even I was talking about, like, Infinitrack Riverstormer earlier. But it is just nice to see Cyber Darks going into round 2 without a loss. Cyber Dark K9, of course. Now, if you're unfamiliar, when it's activated, you get to add a Cyber Dark monster from your deck to your hand with a different name from the cards in your graveyard. There are no Cyber Dark cards, but you grab the Cyber Dark, I want to say, Claw there, which when sent to the graveyard, you can, well, equipped to a monster has an effect, but use the discard effect to add another Cyber Dark spell or trap. And so just, again, really, really wild to see Cyber Darks. But we are going to reach back into the extra deck here. And now's where it gets a little funny because, obviously you want light beast monsters on the field. Not so when the Clockwork Knight appears. Clockwork Knight going to get negated here, so not going to grab a certain continuous spell card that shall not be named. No, I'm just teasing. It is Clockwork Knight. But we're going to go ahead and use, in a chain, Forbidden Droplet, sending to the graveyard the Clockwork Knight to dodge the Infinite Permanence. Great heads up here. And still gets to negate something. So I think we're just going to go and negate the Yummy Snatchy. People in the chat have played against Absai this week, so they know how good he can be. No response from monster effects here based on Forbidden Droplet. Oh, and chucked a couple of other cards there, too. Just like no, no, and no. Getting rid of what appears to be an artifact monster there. Think that is going to be Artifact Mjolnir, which has been showing up quite a bit in the canine lists. And then pitching out another Cyberdark Claw, it appears, to the graveyard. So negating the effects of the Cupsy Yummy Way, the Lollipo Yummy Way, the Yummy Snatchy, so they can't tag out. I mean, that is one of the most difficult things about playing against Yummy is that you're trying to get your hand on it. If you've been playing this game long enough to remember Wind Up Rabbit, that's really what the Yummy Ways feel like to me. It's that idea that, like, you can't get your hands on them, and that makes perfect sense because what are they emulating? They're emulating claw machines. Of course, Yummy Snatchy snatching up the Yummies. And each of those different Yummy monsters kind of representing, the thing in the claw machine you're trying to get. We will get an update on how many make top cuts when we can, Emmanuel. But it is going to be the full 9 rounds today. Let me see if I can get that update now so I can tell you here in just a moment. Typing that into our judges now. We are going to get out the Cyberdark Worm here in the meantime. And also get our Cyber Dragon Core here. It's just cool to see it. Like, it's holding its own. You have to realize that if you're just joining us, most of the Yummy monsters on the field have had their effects negated. Jaime is not just blanking out as he puts a hand on his face. He does have a face-down card he may activate, but he decides not to at the moment. And so we see Clockwork Knight turning everything into machines. But, they can mess with some people. Zombie World has done an incredible job of really, really interfering with people's game plans. And Clockwork Knight, much the same. Looks like we have 217 duelists today. And Emmanuel, you wanted to know how many we're going to have for Top Cut? Ooh, we're going to Yummy surprise. 32 invites is what I think off the top of my head, but they're going to confirm that for me shortly. But managing to just kind of hang in there. Obviously off to a great start. Still about 25 minutes left on the clock, at least from the main event. They just have their own separate timer. Again, we'll try to see it. We do have Neuron on the screen. If we could just get it, like, on the field. So, as the quest continues here, I mean, we actually haven't even seen 2 level 5 monsters hit the field yet. And now we're going to use the Blackout left on K966A Joe Cool. So we're not going to see any level 5 monsters hitting the field. Which is just a wild way to be fighting back. And I think it does go to show you this format is so just like about doing stuff. I love formats that are about doing stuff, playing cards, resolving effects. Genesis is really big on that just based on the point format alone. But I think our format is going the same way too. And it looks like that was enough. Jaime is catching back up. We are going to a game 3. That's right, Jaime Caldera wins game 2. So we'll have a star on the board for him soon enough. And yes, confirm we're going to have 32 invites today. 9 rounds of Swiss, 32 invites. And hopefully a good time. If not, my apologies, chat. My apologies directly. But definitely feeling themselves now. The duelists, you know, kind of. I love game 3 because you both know what you're doing. You both know to respect each other. You both know, like, okay, we're going into this. I'm fortunate enough that I get to go first because I lost. A strange thing to say, but either or, we are managing to get things done. Jaime, not feeling his own coattails, just kind of nods silently to himself as he verifies what cards to include in his deck. Looks like we are seeing a few more canine cards, a little bit more canine engine being slipped in by Upside from the side deck into the main deck. Everybody, you know, talking about, is Pile Shuffle a real shuffle? Look at how beautiful Upside Shuffle is, just sufficiently randomizing the deck. Sometimes duelists say, but I like to declump my deck. I'm like, if you're shuffling to get a specific result for your deck, you may want to ask your judge about that. That's all I can say. But certainly both duelists being respectful, keeping up things. Nobody's sitting out there taking a year to lay out their cards into piles. And things seem to be going well. So we are seeing a little bit of Doom and Dimensions format in action. We did see the Marshmallow Yummy. We didn't get to see a K9 Noroi hit the field or a K9 66X Jax. Both of those decks getting some new support here. And a lot sooner than some of the other decks that have gotten support. Like, think about Crossover Breakers. December was YCS Anaheim. And that was when Crossover Breakers format sort of broke loose, and we got to see these new decks for the first time. But the support for those decks, your Malice March Hare, your Star Raziel, hey, I still like Star Raziel, your great new Ryuge cards, those came out in Alliance Insight, which would have been the end of April. So about 5 months. And here, man, it just feels like it's almost nothing. As we drop down that new support, K9 Noroi. So show hand? Oh, we're not going to show hand. Okay. Infinite Permanence. You don't do nothing. So then we're going to go ahead and drop our Cyberdark Claw, discarding it. And using that to grab Cyberdark Realm. Droll a Lockbird, which like is still a great card this format, but we haven't just seen it like included as an auto into every deck list. Obviously still good in a lot of decks, but man, this might have stopped him cold because that is going to be a set card. And pass turn. Jaime drawing for turn in game 3. Activating Anti-Spell Fragrance. That's 100 points in Genesis format. That's how good that card is. So that's going to change things up for Yummy a lot because unless you're going to Yummy Surprise right now, the field spells, not really going to happen. So this is a nice, aggressive control style right now, which K9 is kind of a control deck to begin with. We do see a Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion in Absai's hand. So this is looking really good for him. Really good for him as Jaime sets a single face-down monster and ends his turn. But now Upside is going to draw, set 2 cards, could be spells, and the K9 Noroi is going to attack, destroying another copy of Droll and Lockbird. Jaime draws for turn. Considering his options, sets a lowercase r if I ever saw one. Not a T set. we do have one monster in face-down defense and a single spell or trap. So we are going to normal summon Cyber Dragon Core. Believe your eyes. Plenty of level 5 monsters to go with the K9 deck here. And technically works really well with Infinitrack Riverstormer. Oh, but there's a third Roland Lockbird as the Cyber Dark Realm is added from the deck to the hand. It can't even be activated this turn anyway. So, Absai stunting and Jaime stunted, but still able to slow down the opponent with just droll after droll after droll, which makes you wonder, what's the face-down monster? Let's find out. Oh, no, it's the Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. So Cyber Dragon Core just kind of by its lonesome right now. Almost no attack points to speak of. Looks like we're going to set an additional card there and play passes. Jaime draws for turn. So as a reminder, it's a full turn and your opponent's turn. It's anti-spell fragrance, such an incredible card. Such an incredible card. Oh, but he said it. Here we go. Obedience schooled. Wow. Activating the embodiment of Apophis to special summon itself as a monster and then negate cards on the field equal to the number of trap monsters. Negating that obedience school flat out. I think we may see a handshake or fist bump before we know it. Jaime just counting. Yep, that's a continuous trap. Nodding. Yep, that would do it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what can you do? No more spells. At least for this turn. Trap Eater would feel real nice right now, but instead we are going to summon Lollipo Yummy. Link summon Lollipo Yummy into Yummy Snatchy. Yummy Snatchy effect here. We're going to place, we're not activating, we're placing a field spell. And we got to do something, yep. So our Yummy Amusement Mignon hitting the field this time. Looks like we still got about 20 minutes left in the round in our game 3. Not going to a photo finish this time. Oh, and the Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. Jaime nodding, he understands. Having such luck. Bad luck, technically, as he was trying to put things together. An opening hand of just droll and only droll. Play passes as he just sits on the single Yummy Snatchy. Maybe feeling like there's not enough attack points to wipe him out. But now we're going to see Therion King Regulus. And Therion King Regulus' effect using Cyberdark Claw. Cyberdark Claw has effects when it's sent to the graveyard when equipped to a monster. Just beautiful machine chicanery here as we also activate Cyberdark Realm, using it to grab, well, maybe nothing because of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Absai seemingly double taking there, but going to go ahead and negate it. And that's the game. Jaime conceding immediately. Absai wins. Just having another Cyberdark Realm, but that anti-spell fragrance doing so much to slow things down. And also Jaime's own unfortunate luck just didn't make it happen. But unfortunately with a claw machine and nothing to grab, sounds like we've got to have that reset by staff here. Yeah, put the 3 droll Lockbirds knowing like, dude, look at what I had. Look at what I had. There's nothing. Sacred Slip presented. Gonna go and check himself there as the loser of that duel. And player 1 wins it. Crazy stuff. So Absai just doing it. Cyber Dragons. I don't know that Cyber Dragons won that or Anti-Spell Fragrance won that, but we'll have to ask the duelists themselves how they felt. Just cool stuff indeed. Shows you this format, you know, it's got a lot of different variations to it. Wow, Ghost Rare Cyber Dragons too from Ghosts from the Past. Nice. Just cool. When a duelist, like, commits to a deck, you know they do because of the rarity upgrades. You know, if it's like a common infinite permanence, that's fine. But when they're playing it like Labyrinth and they have it as a quarter-century secret rare, then you know they're in it to win it. So players packing up. Second, we'll have our interview. Again, we are going to cut the stream and put it back on immediately after. So it'll go off then on so we can fix that audio issue you guys have been talking about. Appreciate all of your support as we have gotten through, right? NA production jokes. Well, it's North America. Hee hee hee. But thanks again for bearing with us because it is going to be a heck of a set of duels here. We want to make sure they sound as cool as they look. But yeah, packing it up. Upside moves forward with a 2-0 record. And Jaime can still make top 32. He is X and 1. Well, our duelist on the left there is going to be joining us shortly. And just wow. Just wow. All right. So, a little round of applause for our duelist out there. They're actually clapping here. It's not me just being hallucinating. Let me go ahead and pull up a chair. And Judge, if you'll take these very important top secret documents, and I'll trade you those documents for this duelist if you have a seat. And just go ahead and throw on your headset, fam. Go ahead and sit right here where the 2 is. And so I got to ask, did Cyberdarks win that duel, or did Anti-Spell Fragrance win that duel?
It was definitely Anti-Spell. I wish I could show off the Cyber Dragon part more on stream. Didn't really get to it this match, but yeah, Anti-Spell definitely won me that duel. And Apophis, that was a last-minute decision I put in there, and it
just
came
incredible.
through.
Incredible.
Yeah.
He was like double take. I remember when I saw Jaime looking, he's like, oh, yeah, you do have a continuous trap over there. So really good stuff. You mentioned it was the last second choice. What were you thinking about when you decided to pop that in?
Well, the deck I play a lot of Case for K9. The Cyber
Oh, you're
Darks
scooted so I can actually see you.
Oh, they're all continuous spells. So even if I just hard draw it, it's just an extra negate. Why would I not play it?
Yeah, no, it's a good body too. It's level 6 though, right? It's not level 5.
Yeah, I believe it's level 6.
Okay, I was gonna say because that's
right,
incredible if it was
if
level
it
5.
was that.
Well, it was really cool to see the Cyber Dragon stuff, and I was actually really excited when I saw Therion King Regulus grabbing the Cyber Dark Claw because it does have that effect when it's sent to the graveyard while it's equipped to a monster. So talk to me about the deck building process of grabbing all these different machines and saying, yep, this is a K9 deck.
Well, ever since I've been playing machines since Ancient Gears, and ever since Earth Machine, I've known they weirdly enough most machines have synergy. So
yeah, it's weird. They
machine
together.
piles are always fun to play, and K9 is just what Cyber Dragon needed to boost it that extra level to be competitive.
I definitely saw the Ghost Rare Cyber Dragons in there, so I could see that you were very excited.
Right.
So have you been playing Cyber Dragon since even before? Because I know you mentioned Earth Machine, but before Earth Machine, we just had that.
Cyber Dragon specifically. I just started. I'm not as familiar with it. I haven't playing that one for too long, so I just picked that one up.
Still some really good stuff that's in there. Is there anything that you feel like you just have the edge over because of all the weird things you can do with Cyber Dark Realm and the other stuff in the extra deck?
Definitely the surprise if people aren't expecting it. Contact fusing. I didn't get to do it. I almost did.
Where you just grab all their
stuff?
Right. Yeah.
I've already done that before. It is a very. If people aren't expecting it, it's kind of like really hard to counter that.
A lot of machines in the main deck format right now. Neroy's a machine, right, too?
Correct.
So
Neroy's
just
a
lot of good stuff. Is there any deck you feel like you're worried about running into? Because it is a brand new format right now.
Weirdly enough, probably Malice.
Really?
Because I know there's some good Malice players in this tournament, and that is a deck I don't really have side for. I'm not respecting it at the moment, but when I do see it, I know, given the right hands, that deck is still pretty strong. That and Vanquish Soul for the same reason, you know.
Yeah, Vanquish Soul's still out there.
I know their consistency's hit, but when they pop off, they do pop off. So
yeah, it's one of those things where when a new format happens and there's a list and a set drop at the same time, people are like, this deck's trash, I'm never going to play it again, etc. But then you go to a tournament and you actually have to face, you're like, oh, yeah, that's still fine. That's still fine. So with that in mind, is your deck a deck that you're going to keep playing for a while since it's the beginning of the format and you feel safe, or is this like a placeholder that you're going to jump into something else later?
Oh, I'm definitely sticking with this as long as I can. I love just summoning giant machines with high attack. It's always fun.
That's cool. There's an Ancient Gear duelist in here before we're done. Gotta ask, are we playing for our invite?
Yes.
Well, top 32.
At the very least, hopefully.
Yeah, you can make top 8, maybe get the math. It is 2-0, so you're feeling pretty good. Are there any shout-outs you want to give to anybody before we release you back to the dueling public?
My girlfriend for supporting me, letting me come in, letting me spend a whole Saturday here playing.
Thank you, girlfriend. We appreciate that. We will protect it, we promise.
All right.
Anybody else?
That's all I got.
That's fine. That's good. That's good. Just to be like
All
the
right, ones
girlfriend
that
and
we gotta
nobody
make
else.
Sure that check that off the list.
All right, I'm sorry. Well, it was great
All
meeting
right.
you. Good luck in
Thank
the rest
you.
of the tournament.
Thank you very
and
much.
duelists, we'll be back before you know it. All right, duelists, we interrupt this broadcast to give you a game-breaking update. We're going to fix the audio, but to fix the audio, we're going to have to turn the stream off, and we're going to have to turn the stream on. So what are you going to do? Just like hit refresh in a couple of seconds, and then let us know if the weird dual channel audio is fixed and you're hearing it all at the same time. Are you ready, chat? I'm going to wait the 5 to 10 seconds it takes for you to actually hear my message and then see that you're good. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do it. So remember, just hit refresh, and we'll be right back.